vlog style. How about that? Do a little vlog style. I brought some stuff up over here to check out. Really check out, whatever. Got my, what do you want to call it? You want to call it a clone? I want to call it a clone. You know, it may have the logoing and everything on it as the original, whatever. I'm still going to call it a clone. Everybody gets butthurt about, well, that's a clone, or that's, you know, what are the other names for it? Not a clone, replica, shit like that. Whatever, man. Now, we'll go to, I'm going to say a lot, I think. I think that's going to happen. A Nautilus. Everybody wants to recommend the Nautilus Mini for newer vapors. Heck, I got my dad a Nautilus Mini. Works great. Works just as good as the full-size Nautilus. However, the full-size Nautilus holds more juice. Holds more juice, man. Now, if you're going to vape as you smoked, we'll adjust this while I'm talking. If you're going to vape as you smoked, I would really go with the full-size Nautilus. I recommend the full-size Nautilus if you're a newer vapor. Why? Because of the juice capacity. Yeah, it is a little big. I mean, you know, look at that in my hand. It is a little big. It fits in your hand. And you can put it on an Ego. It's going to look a little bit big and bulky on the top of an Ego. But I don't necessarily recommend an Ego per se. Maybe something variable voltage, variable wattage. So you can tune it to your needs. Because just like the Nautilus, you can tune to your needs as far as airflow. You should be able to have a battery along with it. Maybe an iStick. Maybe a spinner, a twist, something like that. If you like the form factor of a small tube, a spinner or a twist would be perfect. If you want a small little box that's half the size of this, then go with an iStick. Heck, I'm thinking about that iStick 50 as a secondary device. And the only reason I would get a 50 instead of a 30, well, because it's 50, man. It's 50. And my CLT, I put that at 50 all the time. It's usually where I vape it, is at 50. Yeah, I'll bump it up to 100 sometimes. Ooh, that's minty. I clear it out a little bit. It's been sitting in my box for a while. This is basically, you know, a giant Ego, really. I mean, 3.7 volts, not regulated at all. It's just boom. And this is as close as I get to having an Ego, would be my NEMI. So I'm just showing you, this is what I would recommend. And that's just me slipstreaming it to get that much. Because I would have to turn the airflow down to mouth to lung this like a cigarette. It's a very satisfying vape when you're starting out, and especially if you're at 12 to 18 milligram, you know, this has like nothing in it right now. So it's not as satisfying to me as if I vape nothing on my CLT, because I'm a volume vapor. I like more vapor. Really care about the nick. Let's turn a light on in here. Camera's looking a little dark. How about that? Does that help a little? So, a Nautilus Mini. If you want to fill up your tank twice a day, go with the Mini. If that doesn't bother you. If you want to carry a little bottle of juice. The Nautilus will pretty much last me all day. What is it? 5? Holds 5 mil, right? Of juice. This is what it is. We're just gonna keep going with I don't think this will fit on here. I'll have to readjust it. Maybe. Hot button. See, that's the problem. Once you start moving up and stuff, you build it for other stuff. This is not built for my Nemi clone, especially because, you know, clones aren't exactly perfect. One-to-ones, whatever, replicas. Not exactly perfect. You know, the original manufacturer usually makes things a little bit better than the guy that's making a copy of it, in my opinion. Now, I will get a hot hand or a hot button or whatever. Why? Because I have this built for my Sigelei. The Sigelei goes down to 0.16 ohms. Another thing you learn as vaping goes on in your life is Ohm's law and battery safety and all that. I'm not at the amp limit of my battery yet. It's a Sony VTC4. It is a correct one. It's unwrapped. But on a mech mod, on my mech mods, which are clones, if I go to 0.2 and below, I will either get a short right here that arcs out to my hand, or I will get a hot button that shorts or arcs out to my hand, just because it's built so low. It's basically like when you take your jumper cables from one car to another car and you see that little spark. Well, I don't see the spark, but I feel it. It's basically what it is. Moving up in the world. Drippers, man. Drippers are awesome. And that's dry. I don't have no juice sitting over here. I just wanted to vape that. It's my vlog. I do it how I please. I just shot a little video. I haven't uploaded it yet. I think I'm going to check out loading my videos from this to the computer, then to YouTube, and we'll see how that works. If I try to load it on the computer and it does what my old phone used to do, and that is turns the video sideways, then that's not going to quite work out. So I may end up just uploading it straight from my phone again. Just fine with me. And I'm not utilizing the HD on my phone because that's the normal camera for it. And then I can't see if maybe I've hit the table and the table shakes a little bit and the phone moves and I won't know it. So all of a sudden you'll be looking at this and the ceiling. So I'm just using the front mount camera on there. It works, man. You can see. I mean, come on. You can see. I can just do that. Look at that. Yeah, I did add a live wire sticker. What the hell is live wires? It's ignition wire stickers. One of the bigger stickers that I had that would fit the back plate of this. And yeah, it's just a version 1 Sigelli. Highly enjoying my fogger right now. I've been going back in my vape box lately and just checking out the stuff that's in there. How did that work again? Is that good? Whatever. My iClear 30B, still a good vape. Still a good vape. Can't put it on my Sigelli. Why? Because it's got bottom airflow, and the only way to run it would be to have it sticking way up so some of the air could get in, and it's not all of the air because there's airflow that goes through the center pin also, but this has no way of getting it. Another thing to think about when you're purchasing things like the Nautilus, it has side airflow, so it does not get its airflow from the base of the device. So you can put it on something that has no airflow, such as a flat mount box. There's no airflow holes in that. There's nothing. Okay? Can you put bottom airflow things on mods such as a Nemesis? Well, sure you can, because the Nemesis has holes drilled out in the side of it for airflow. You pull the airflow ring off and you'll see that it has airflow holes going right to it. Yeah, mine's drilled out a little bit, but line that back up. Mine's drilled out a little bit because I have a couple of devices that was really restrictive on, and every once in a while you want to rock it. I don't know if there's any juice in that 30B, but everybody likes when you get up in a video and you walk away. So we'll get up in the video and we'll walk away, and lo and behold, there's a whole bunch of juice in there. Yeah, it's a purple tank, but yeah, there's juice in there. What's in there? Who knows, man? I should know, right? I put it in there. iClear 30B. There's a stock head in here that I was able to re-wick with some cotton instead of the silica, and it changes the iClear 30B immensely. It's a very difficult task. I don't recommend you try ripping those apart because some of the heads are so cheaply made for the iClear 30B that they do have a tendency to break. When you pull them apart, you have to be very careful. That being said, this one is wicked with cotton in it. And it comes out to like 1.2 ohms, which this would be perfect with that little Z-Max Mini that I have. But after about 5 hits, it drops to 1.1 ohms and won't fire on the Mini. So I can't use it on the Mini, which it looks really nice on the Mini if you're into looks. Yes, my 30B base is the airflow on there, wherever it is. It lines right up with those channels right there. It is slightly drilled out a little bit, not much. But if you want to slipstream and do a lung inhale, you can. That's some 28 days vape juice in there. Some of their 50-50 blend. I don't remember which one. They all have really strange names, man. They're all like Queen's Garden and King's Throne and just weird names. That's the Liquid Sin line though, and the Liquid Sin line is like 75 VG, 25 PG. So that's a little thick. This is the other line. What's the other line? Get up 2 times in a video? Why not? Jeez. I believe what I have in there right now is possibly the King's Hand. 28 days vape right there. And this is the barrel aged stuff. The barrel aged stuff is 50-50, and it's really good. I gotta say though, all the 28 days vape stuff that I received, there's probably 5 of them that I really liked, and 5 of them that I could actually pick out what the flavors were that were in the juice before I looked them up. And what did I get? 16, 18 bottles of it. So I liked 5 of them, and a couple of those 5 I could pick out what was actually in the juice. And you know, some of the other ones I didn't really care for. Video's getting dark again. What's up with that? Camera. It's the camera, man. And the sunlight's going away. It's getting closer to noon. Sunlight's going away. It's going to get dark in here. Whatever. Maybe a little brightness in the shirt. No, that's not going to happen. Alright, whatever. But, yeah. So, I got 2 bottles. Here I'm going to piff to my buddy, because he's more of a complex flavor guy. I piffed a few other bottles to another buddy. And, I don't know, man. It is what it is. You know, let them try something different. Gotta let your buddies try something different, you know. Let them know what's out there, right? We dare put the Nautilus up here on the Sigelei. I will say, on this Aspire Nautilus, doesn't matter where I go. Maybe if I back up even farther, look at that. Doesn't matter where I go. I want 1.6 ohm heads. Every pack I've ever received has been 1.8. Every one of them. And I'm not going to fire this thing at 20 watts because that is 6 volts. Now remember, that's 3.7. Probably closer to 4.2. I just took it off the charger not too long ago. But we're going to bop this all the way down to 10 watts. Now, on a box, if you're only rocking this dual 18650 box at 10 watts, and that's satisfying to you, more power to you, because these batteries will probably last you 2 days easy. Just saying. And it is at 1.8 ohms, if that wants to show up. And you can rock that all day long. With the Nautilus and this box, yeah, is it really that big? I don't know. You know, there's a regular mech mod right there with a regular Clearo on it. It's just a little bit taller, you know. The box is like a little more than twice as wide. It's up to you. Personal styling in the vape community, do your own thing, man. If you like the way that looks, if you don't mind that, the Sigelei is basically the same size, basically, I mean it's almost right there, as a pack of 100 cigarettes, you know? Not the short kings, because that would be about right there, but it's basically the same size if you were smoking Marb 100s or Camel 100s or, you know, the 100 series cigarettes. If that doesn't bother you to carry something the same size as a pack of smokes, a nice big box with long battery life. It's long battery life with things like this, with a 1.8 ohm Clearo on it. It's a really long battery life. If you put something on there such as my CLT with a 0.16 ohm build on it and rock that on there, and you're a big volume vapor person, I mean you're chain vaping almost constantly, you get about 4 hours out of this. 4 hours, yeah. But that, you know, it all depends on what you build. And yes, you build these. You don't build these. You can, but it's a pain in the ass. Sometimes it's nice to vape something minty, I tell you. I don't know what's in this, but it's leaving my mouth. I feel like I just chewed up some winter mint gum, and that's crazy. I wanted to mention Mr. Nick Grim Green. Oh, what was he saying the other day? He said something the other day. I'll think of it while I'm going through this. My vlogs are always long, so I'll think of it. I know I will. Little side note on these sub tanks. Alright, man, stop getting down on my big ass sub tank. And he said they're not on the Kanger site anymore, I guess. Oh, I know what he was saying. On this big sub tank. And I did find, you know, I put up the struggle is real video for my sub tank. Y'all know my ohms are just jumping mad. I figured it out. These threads, every time I take it off of a device, the threads are a little gunky. There's nothing in my Sigelei threads. There's nothing in my Nemi threads. My threads are a little gunky every time. So I don't know if maybe there's a little bit of juice seepage or something going on, or what. But if I clean my threads off before I screw it into a device, and what's it at? It's at 1.2. So we're gonna bop her up to 17 watts here, which is 4.5 volts. 1.2. Yeah, this is a head I built. It's a stock head, but I drilled out the wicking channels. I noticed on the heads that I purchased, or you know, the heads I got with my sub tank, had really nice big juice channels where the cotton was behind there and everything else. But the pack I bought, the 2 packs I bought after that, the juice channels are smaller. Well, I like the thicker juice, and I didn't catch it till I went through the second head. And I'm going, why am I going through heads so fast when the original head lasted so long? And it was my fault, not the head's fault, that it burnt out, because you know, I go back and forth with my CLT, and I popped this on here without turning it down, and just burnt the living daylights out of the head at 50 watts. Don't do that. Always check your device and turn it down before you flip back and forth between devices. Alright? Now, Nick, you seem to be off a little bit. That's another one of those King juices there from 28 Days Vape. They are good. They're good. You know, if you have if you like complex flavors and you like to figure out what the heck is in this, go ahead. 28 Days Vape. They got a huge lineup, and every juice that I had was a good juice. Some of them weren't for me, you know, as far as they taste good, but it's like, man, I can't even pick out what's in this, which doesn't really bother me because I'm more of a volume vapor. So as long as it has a touch of flavor in there, I'm good. I've even just taken plain VG right out of my VG bottle and vape that for a few hours. You know, it doesn't matter to me. There's no nicotine in that. Whatever. It's just, I want to vape, I want to vape. It doesn't matter what flavor it is. Not to me. And I gotta go get it for Nick. I mentioned Nick Grimm Green. He's never gonna watch this. You know, my videos are way too long for him to spend his time on. So, buddy, I got something here. Let's see, where is it? He was talking about this RBA section right here. And yeah, I've janked mine up a little bit. Opening up those juice flows because I like the higher VG. I'm going to say it again and again. Now this is probably all wicked up and all juicy, and I haven't used it because really it's got just a hair more airflow than my K-Fun. Just a hair more than my K-Fun. And I'm not liking it because of that. Now, I understand that the Subtank Mini comes with its own rebuildable deck, and it seems to me that that rebuildable deck is a little more on the airy side, and people keep telling me that you can't use the mini deck inside the full size Subtank. And I don't know why that is. If you're not changing out that whole tube section and all the regular standard coils all fit in all three of the Subtank versions, why can't you take the mini rebuildable head and pop it in there? If everything's the same, I don't understand why you can't. But was it Phil? Did Phil do it? Phil put in there, and he said that the tube will go down and hit the coils in there. I don't know. I'd really like to look. Will I be purchasing a Subtank Mini? I have the full size. It's like 6 mil tank. Lasts a good time. This is my main driving device, so I don't have to drip and drive. Don't drip and drive. You don't need to drip and drive. Oh, back at that really quick before I get to this for Nick. I said I drilled out the side, the juice channels in that coil head, and I rebuilt it with what basically is 28 gauge ribbon wire, because I got ribbon wire laying around, and other than making some tiger wire with it, it's really useless, and I got a whole spool of it. So I was trying to just, use it up. So there's 4 wraps around a 3mm screwdriver in there. 4 wraps. Only 4. And you can see it'll verge between 1.1 and 1.2. It's right on the line. And 4 wraps. It's like, really? Should have done like 2 wraps, I guess. I can actually turn this up. It's at 17 watts, 4.4 volts. And we'll go up to 20 watts here. Yeah, if my device doesn't turn off on me. Come on, stop it. Alright, we'll click it this way. I did notice also on the Sigelei, as long as it's in my head, sometimes when I change the batteries out in this, it changes its settings for wattage. So put that in your head if you have one of these. Yeah, this is a version 1. Good stuff. 28 Days Vape is good stuff. Alright, Nick. We'll get to you right here. So, for the life of me, with all my rubber pliers and everything, yeah, that's juicy. Yeah, I have the standard coils that came in there. The dual coil setup. It works great. So, keep that in mind, too, if you're into rebuilding. Now, mine might be stuck, but I've used mine quite a bit. Let's see here. I can never tell if that's coming off or not. I may have to grab a pliers, Nick. Nope, I got it. It just takes a little bit, Nick. Come on, Nick. I'm just going to keep saying his name because he's never going to watch this. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? Look at that, Nick. Yes, it comes off. It does. Granted, yours may be a little stiffer than mine. I've noticed it's not going to show up very well on this camera, but it's like a flat style O-ring at the top, which never mind, because mine seems to have disappeared, I guess. I noticed it when I got it. Whatever, but mine did have like a flat style O-ring in there. It was a clear material, and that would cause it to just kind of suction to it. I don't remember ever taking it off, so maybe it's made of that same rebuild deck portion that everybody's saying is deteriorating and just being cruddy. Well, I can tell you mine's been sitting in juice for a while now. I got a screwdriver sitting here. I don't mind pulling my wicks out or anything, but I'll just lift them up. Now, you see this? That insulator right there, everybody says, oh, it could deteriorate and whatever. The one guy that had it deteriorating on him that I saw was using Fluid, which is I guess a very citrusy, very acidy juice. Yeah, nothing's coming off there. It's rock hard still. It's all good. And this has been sitting in juice, in its own wick juice here for, I don't know, a month. I don't usually use the rebuild deck because it's not as airy as I like. But I just thought I'd point that out for Nick there. It does come apart, Nick. You just got to try harder, man. You got those big guns. You go to the gym. I never go to the gym. I just got it apart. You can't really say that anyhow, you know. You go to the gym, you got muscles. Really, it's this little tiny thing. And whoever lifts barbells with their fingers. Raw. Hulk hands. Anyhow. So that's that for that. But yeah, I am liking this. Now that I figured out the whole wonkiness of why my ohms were just jumping around every time I put the sub tank on. You know, and that's usually what I do. I just flip, go to the next one, flip, back and forth with these. Because when I go in the car, I don't want to drip. I gotta say, I rather enjoy the devices with the side airflow as far as tanks go versus the bottom airflow. You just get more out of them. You can, if you want to get it really tight, I mean, the Nautilus, I do have my biggest one. I have drilled out just a little bit more, and it's probably as big as you could go, and still get the airflow. The airflow is about the same as it is going up through the coil in here, which is a BVC coil. They sell them for the Nautilus. That's what's in here. Basically a smaller version of the Atlantis. Okay? And it's not sub-ohm. It's regular. So it's safer with your other batteries. Okay? Nothing's completely safe. I understand that. But, you know, you can go all the way down to that little tiny ass airflow hole right there. And it's a tight draw. So if you're into that, it has that option. It also has two that are in between. See? And then back to the biggest one. Now, that's why I say I'll recommend the Nautilus, because it's versatile. You can, you know, put your normal fluids in there that you get from the vape shop, that you get from the gas station even. Gas station e-juice. But, yeah, it is what it is. Reviewers Q had a couple guys. Are they in Minnesota? I swear they said they were in Minnesota. A pair of guys. So I checked out their videos, but I've lost track of their name in my head already. I have nothing new to go over with anybody. We could do a build video, but nobody likes my camera, so you know that just turns into a debunkle of stuff. You know, I see the point of the Coil Master. I do, for the people that's hands don't quite work out right, and you know, people that just are new to building and whatever. You just wrap that up on the Coil Master and you get a damn near perfect coil every time. Cool beans for you. I'm perfectly happy wrapping my twisted wire, wrapping my regular Kanthal, wrapping ribbon wire, whatever, on a screwdriver. Perfectly happy with that. I can do it. You know, round wire is really simple as long as your hands work, because you can just bend it right into itself and it'll just ride that edge of the coil you made before it and just keep going around. I don't understand the big problem there, but it is what it is. You like that when I just let a device sit right out there in front of you? I don't even know if they sell the iClear 30B anymore, but it is a nice tank. It's got the bottom airflow though. It kind of puts me off from it because I can't put it on other things. Is what it is. Anything else you guys got? You got questions? I don't get a lot of questions on my channel. Check and see what the juice is like in here. Oh, you're dripping. I made you leak. Haha. Ooh, dripping good. I have this wicked for a little thicker e-juice. I just threw some Vermilion River mango tea in here because it's fucking delicious. And mango tea. Somebody asked me, well, is it a white tea or what kind of tea? I don't know teas, man, but it has that tea flavor in with the mango, and it's really freaking good. So that's what I'm vaping right now. With the way that I wick my fogger, yeah, if I tip it on its side, it's gonna leak. if I leave it upright, it won't leak forever. I will, however, with it upright, get a little bit of seepage out of that screw hole for filling it. Why? Because there's no O-ring in it anymore, and I don't have an O-ring to fit it. I lost the darn O-ring. So, therefore, it'll leak. Seep. It'll seep out of there. It doesn't really leak. It's not like it's pouring out of there. It's just, you know, a little bit of juice comes out of it. But it takes it quite a while to get out of there. It's got to work its way around the threads and all that. It's all good. What else you got? What else you got? I would like to be able to rebuild my sub tank with some 24 gauge in a stock coil. It's not possible without putting non-resistant wire in there. Why do I say that? Because as soon as you fire up a 24 gauge build in the sub tank, it burns the little rubber insulator that traps your wires. Yeah, as soon as you hit the fire button. So it's not possible. So what's the next gauge that I have is 28, and I know the sub tanks seem to they come with like 26 gauge, but it's resistance, non-resistance wire in them, so you don't burn the insulator that way. I got 28 in here, not in this one. Well, it's 28 gauge ribbon wire, but I've done 28 gauge regular Kenthal in here, and it works just fine. However, the ohms are not sub-ohm, they are of normalcy, and yeah, that is what it is. What are you going to do? I'm not going to go buy that little thing so I can tack resistance and non-resistance wire together to build that, because that just seems silly to me, and not going to do it. You can get no bubbles out of there. Why is that? Tasty though. So we went over beginner stuff. Went over, I like to fiddle with my devices. I am thinking about I'd have to figure out how to get it off of here first. But I would like to take this airflow control ring right here off of my sub tank and drill this out to a slot just like the Mini and the Nano. Because behind this airflow right here, the widest airflow, is a giant slot. Not 3 holes. When you change this to the next one, that's nothing, right? It's got a nothing setting, which I guess is good if you're like traveling on an airplane or something. But whatever. And you go to 1. Yeah, it's a single air hole. It's just a single air hole. And then you flip it to the next one, and it's got 2 air holes. Well, behind that one is not holes, it's a giant slot. So why not slot that out? Maybe it wouldn't sound so almost whistly. You hear that? I don't know. But that's my thought on that. I wanna take that 3-hole system right out of mine. I'll probably, maybe next tank before I fill it up again, maybe I'll just take it out and drill that out, make a slot out of it. Maybe it'll take away that whistle. I can't imagine that it's gonna like open the airflow up at all, because that is 3 good sized holes there. I mean, was this a 2mm screwdriver, I think? And it fits in there with wobble on 1 hole. So, you know, that would be essentially 6mm of airflow right there. which is more than the head can probably take. Just saying. We're at 45 minutes, really? I don't know. I got nothing else for you, really. Just want to do a couple of vids. You know, just post one for vaping with Vic. Not chewing them down or anything. I just forgot to mention some stuff, and I thought, what the hell? I'll put a video out there. The Fogger V6 is out. There's places like Kidney Puncher that's selling it. Kidney Puncher is charging $34.95 for it. If you're into those style tanks, the Fogger, I've loved my Fogger since I got it. You know, there is the V6 fixes one of my issues, and it has ginormous juice channels, which is worth looking into. Huge juice channels. I'll put this at the end of my video because we're going to see if Vic watches the other video or if he goes into my archives of any other video. Yeah, Vic, I cheated. This one is drilled out just a little bit. It's not quite 2 mil, so I can't get my 2 mil screwdriver in there. I believe it's 3/32 in there. You cheated. Yeah, I did. Sorry, Vic. You know, come on. You got to see if you're watching. I don't think you're really watching. So, got to see if you're watching. Nobody's going to go all the way through this 45-minute plus video just for that, right? All right. We'll put it at the end. See? Honest Joe over here. My name ain't Joe. So, it's not quite 2 mil. It's 3/32 is the drill bit that was used to do the side ones. Does it make that much of a difference? No, because that the holes that go straight down are bigger than that still. So I don't know. Does it make that big of a difference? I don't know. My juice channels in here are opened up just a little bit. I don't know if you noticed this. You see that in there? You see those waves? Instead of it looking flat in there? Yeah, my juice channels are opened up just a hair too. However, this is the stock drip tip. The only thing done differently on the stock drip tip is I polished the top of it, so you can see the original paint still there at the bottom. But I stuck that part of the drip tip, not really a drip tip because you can't drip through it, mouthpiece, into the drill chuck, put some sandpaper over it, turn the drill on, and you get that nice brushed look, which matchy-matchies with my Nemi. And my box, for that matter, because the paint comes off of your Sigelei when you put it in and out of your pocket all the time, hence the sticker on the back. Yeah, that's one of my gripes with these devices is, yeah, this is cheap. I mean, for a 100-watt box mod, this was pretty cheap. So you can't expect the paint to be that great on it. I should just get a J-wrap for it, but I don't feel like it. You can see it on this edge right here. You see the paint chipping off right there. And I did drop this on the ground the other day. So it took out, there it is, it took out the corner a little bit and warped it up. So I think I'm going to end up running the sandpaper over that because it's got that little catch ledge on there now. And that's not cool. Nothing wrong with the Fogger V4 though, Vic. Come on now. We'll see if he watches. He ain't gonna watch it. I know he ain't gonna watch it. No other reviewer really watches my videos. Really. There's a couple of small timers like me that will check out my stuff, but that's about it. And I don't think they're gonna have the time either to get to 50 minutes. We'll see. If you're watching my videos, you must have a lot of time on your hands, because I don't really care how long they are. I just like to ramble on. Ramble for days, bro. For days. Covered all that stuff. Still don't think that this is an e-cig. It's a personal vaping device. It's personal. It's mine. It's not yours. An e-cig's an e-cig's an e-cig. It's a little stick battery, a little cardo. That's it. It's an e-cig. That's an e-cig. They can have that name. Personal vaporizer or personal steamer. Would you rather go with personal steamer? I mean, isn't that what it creates? Isn't that what happens when you boil some water on the stove? You get the steam out of it. Isn't that what you're doing? You're boiling e-juice. Therefore, it steams. So, whatever. But, I touch on a subject. The dude in the New York subway who was videoing the cops when they came up to him and they said, "Are you smoking?" I would have had the same response. I would have said, "No, I'm not smoking." He didn't have to answer. You're not obligated to answer. I understand that. You don't have to answer their questions. I would answer their questions. Were you smoking? No, I wasn't smoking. Were you using an electronic smoking device? No. It's not smoke. It's vapor. As Matt's hat always says. It's not smoke. It's vapor. If you're ever wondering what that is. And dare I say, I would be so tempted to just pull the device out and go like that. And then when they go, yeah, that. You can't do that here. And I would say, can't do what? And if they went right back to saying, you can't use that electronic cigarette, it's not an electronic cigarette. It's not. You can't smoke that here. I'm not smoking. Define smoke. What causes smoke? I know, it's all, blah, blah, blah. You're just being difficult and, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying. Well, you know what they mean. It's not about what they mean. It's about what they say. You hear me? It's about what they say. Now, if they would have came up and said, are you smoking in here? And he said, no. Well, are you vaping? Well, then it would kind of be like, yeah. I'd be like, yeah, I was vaping. My bad. I'm not supposed to do that here. Whatever. On with your day. Take your ticket. Whatever. However it goes. But in the most literal sense, it's not smoking. It's not an e-cig. It is what it is. So if you're trying to enforce laws on things that you don't understand, maybe you shouldn't be enforcing those laws. Maybe as advocacy goes, maybe someone needs to sit down with all the congressmen, this is what this is. Instead of listening to Dr. Rockford, I'll just throw a name out there, I don't know. Is there a doctor? There's probably a Dr. Rockford out there. He's probably an OBGYN or something. I don't know. He, she, it, whatever. But if they just have some person on there that goes, in their head, it looks like smoking, it must be as bad as smoking, so that's what I'm going to base my whole opinion on, and go, in my professional opinion, this is worse. Well, why? Do you even understand how that works? Do you? Nicotine is a stimulant? Do you understand that part of it? Do you understand that you can get nicotine from other sources other than tobacco? I always go on this rant, but you want to regulate this as a tobacco product. Why? It's a battery box. It's a battery box with a switch on it. It turns it on and off with voltage up and down. That's it. It's a battery box. You want to regulate that as a tobacco product. You want to take a regular old tank or dripper, whatever, and you want to regulate that as a tobacco product. Why? It's stainless steel. Did this come out of a tobacco plant? No. No, it didn't. So I don't get it. The e-juice, you can, we're not really doing it, but you can get your nicotine from other sources than a tobacco plant. You can. It's not as cost effective to take it from a tomato plant, but you can. The body actually needs nicotine for some B vitamins, I believe, to break down, so you can actually use the B vitamins. Just a little thought there for you. I don't get it. It's my thought on that. I mean, they really need to be sat down with someone knowledgeable, whoever that might be, someone who actually knows the, not really actually knows the science, because that's all still being tested. But, you know, all right, you guys, this is what this is. This is a battery holder. You can't really, you're already sales taxing the battery holder, okay? It's a battery holder. It holds a battery. Are you going to tax the battery? Why? These batteries are used in other stuff too. So who's to say what you're specifically purchasing this battery for? So, there you go for that one. It's a switch on the end, and that's it. This by itself does nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. There's nothing connected to it. I still think somebody needs to put a 510 LED flashlight head on there. I still think somebody needs to come out with a 510 flashlight head. It'd be perfect. Just saying. Come on, guys. And you could sell these as flashlights. Just saying. So, it's a battery tube. Can't really call that a tobacco product if this was empty. It's a tank. Stainless steel. Got some rubber on there. Rubber's not tobacco. Got some cotton in there. Cotton is not tobacco. Got some Kenthal wire. Kenthal wire is not tobacco. Got a plastic tank. Plastic's not tobacco product. But yet you want to regulate it as one. The only thing that I think you could really get away with is the nicotine level in the juice. And that would depend on how much nicotine is in the juice to how much you would get taxed on it. Only makes sense. If you're using this much nicotine, you get taxed on this much nicotine. Understand? You can't just throw out a flat 100% tax on all e-cigs and everything related to them. Wait a minute. What? What for? For a battery? For a tube? For a mod? You want to double the price of it? For a metal box? It's not a tobacco product. I realize you're losing all your money from the tobacco sales, so you can't fix your roads, which I have a hard time believing that all that money that they get from all that actually goes for that. I still think, Congressman, you wanted that job. Senators, you want